This is full disgrace and pretty much unprecedented as far as we can see.
I've said it before, I'll say it again tonight. King Charles should strip them of all their remaining titles and cast them out from any connection to the royal family.
The affairs of the royal family tells you that we are living in quite bizarre times.
She had very much been brought back in from the cold. That is why now this will sting so much for her.
They shouldn't pay for the sins of the parents, clearly, but I wouldn't expect them to have any front and centre row. Don't expect to see them on the palace.
Ever-evolving soap opera, that is, of course, what's happening over at Royal Lodge.
The layers of duplicity and shallowness, this is a new low.
The royal family is facing its most devastating crisis in years. And this time, it's not about crowns or ceremonies. It's about a mother losing her daughters. Sarah Ferguson, once the vibrant Duchess of York, now finds herself in an unprecedented spiral as Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie reportedly make the heartbreaking decision to distance themselves from their own mother. What could possibly drive two devoted daughters to turn their backs on the woman who raised them? The answer lies in a tangled web of royal politics, financial scandals, and one man's desperate grip on a 30-room mansion that's tearing an entire family apart. For decades, Sarah Ferguson has weathered every storm imaginable: public humiliation, financial ruin, and endless tabloid scandals. Through it all, her daughters stood by her side like protective shields against a hostile world. But something has fundamentally shifted in recent weeks, something so profound that it's shattering the very foundation of their relationship. Sources deep within royal circles are painting a picture of a family in complete meltdown. The princesses, now mothers themselves, are reportedly making calculated decisions about their futures. Decisions that no longer include standing in their mother's shadow. This isn't just family drama, it's a calculated survival strategy in a monarchy that's rapidly reinventing itself. The breaking point appears to center around Royal Lodge, that sprawling Windsor estate where Prince Andrew continues to barricade himself despite direct orders from King Charles to vacate. But this isn't just about real estate, it's about what that defiance represents and how Sarah Ferguson has become inextricably linked to Andrew's downfall. Consider the impossible position Beatrice and Eugenie find themselves in. On one side stands their mother, clinging to a past that no longer exists, making increasingly desperate public appearances that sources describe as cries for help. On the other side stands their future, their children's futures, in a streamlined monarchy that has zero tolerance for the scandals of yesteryear. The emotional toll on Sarah Ferguson is reportedly devastating. Friends describe a woman in total collapse, watching helplessly as the two people she loves most in the world pull away. But why now? What triggered this seismic shift that's ripping apart one of the royal family's most scrutinized relationships? The answer leads us back to that fortress-like mansion where Andrew remains holed up, refusing to budge despite mounting pressure. His lease doesn't expire until 2078, giving him legal grounds to stay, but at what cost? Every day he remains is another day his daughters are forced to choose between family loyalty and their own survival in the royal hierarchy. King Charles has made his position crystal clear. He wants his brother out. The motivations run deeper than mere property management. This is about cleansing the monarchy's image, about drawing a line in the sand that says certain behaviors will no longer be tolerated, no matter your bloodline. But Andrew's resistance has created a domino effect that's now crushing Sarah Ferguson. Her continued presence at Royal Lodge, her unwavering support for her ex-husband, and her apparent inability to forge an independent path have reportedly become major sources of friction with Beatrice and Eugenie.
Sarah Ferguson, formerly the Duchess of York, of course, is considering offers for a tell-all TV interview.
She needs to let this one play out and she needs to quietly get on with whatever work she may have left.
King Charles is battling with Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson to convince the Yorks to move out of the Royal Lodge.
Because it's
They're so desperate, the tabloids, aren't they? They'll print anything.
I just don't understand why you think that's an issue.
There is a no-holds-barred, warts-and-all tell-all story waiting to be shared with the world.
I've read that Charles will somewhat try and ring-fence Beatrice and Eugenie as his nieces.
Is Fergie really finally clearing off?
The princesses face an agonizing dilemma. They've watched their mother's public pronouncements become increasingly erratic, her attempts to maintain relevance growing more desperate. Sources suggest Eugenie, in particular, has expressed frustration with what she sees as her mother's refusal to adapt to the changing royal landscape. This isn't happening in isolation. Prince William's influence looms large over these decisions. As the future king, he's reportedly taking a hardline stance against what he views as toxic elements within the family. His message is clear. The monarchy's survival depends on cutting away the deadweight, regardless of blood ties. The financial implications add another layer of complexity. Sarah Ferguson's monetary situation has always been precarious, but her entanglement with Andrew's affairs at Royal Lodge has created what insiders describe as an untenable position. The full extent of their financial arrangements remains shrouded in secrecy, fueling speculation and deepening the rift with her daughters. What makes this particularly heartbreaking is the history these three women share. Through divorces, scandals, and public humiliation, they've been each other's constants. Sarah Ferguson often spoke of her daughters as her greatest achievements, her reasons for persevering through the darkest times. Now, that unbreakable bond appears to be fracturing beyond repair.
Lie low, keep quiet. It's not something that she does readily.
What's happened with Andrew losing his title and now her losing Duchess of York, it just proves that the York brand is totally toxic.
Yeah.
So she's going to be sort of pushed towards saying as much as she possibly can.
It's the loss of the privilege that goes along with a royal title. That's really the most significant one, is the loss of his home. So
Sarah Ferguson considers offers for a tell-all TV interview.
She's hoping some sort of generous benefactor will take her in, but the thing is, that's been happening now for 30 years.
The timing couldn't be worse. As the monarchy attempts to modernize and streamline under King Charles, there's simply no room for the baggage the York family carries. Beatrice and Eugenie understand this reality. They have their own children to think about now, August and Sienna, whose futures within the royal framework depend on their parents' ability to navigate these treacherous waters. Reports suggest the princesses have been receiving guidance from senior royals about the importance of strategic distance. This isn't cruelty. It's survival in an institution that demands absolute loyalty to the crown above all else, even family. Sarah Ferguson's response to this isolation has been telling. Her public appearances have taken on a desperate quality, with emotional outbursts and proclamations that seem designed to maintain relevance in a world that's moving on without her. Royal watchers describe it as watching someone drowning in slow motion, reaching for lifelines that keep slipping away. The pressure from within the palace has reached unprecedented levels. Where once there was a gentleman's agreement to handle family matters privately, the stakes have become too high. King Charles and Prince William are united in their determination to protect the monarchy's future, even if it means sacrificing family members who've become liabilities. This internal war has placed Beatrice and Eugenie in an impossible position. They're being asked to choose between their mother and their futures, between family loyalty and institutional survival. Sources close to the princesses reveal the emotional toll this decision has taken, describing sleepless nights and agonizing conversations about where their duties truly lie. The Royal Lodge situation has become the physical manifestation of this conflict. Andrew's refusal to leave isn't just about property, it's about privilege, entitlement, and a refusal to accept the new reality. Every day he remains is another day Sarah Ferguson is tied to his sinking ship. And another day, her daughters must distance themselves further.
The reports are that King Charles has vowed to protect Beatrice and Eugenie.
This is the worst look Fergie has ever had.
A six-figure sum on the table for a first chat after losing her title.
King Charles is very keen to move Andrew and his ex-wife Fergie on. He doesn't want them to live there anymore.
He says accusations about him have become a distraction from the royal family.
Ex-wife and fellow resident Sarah Ferguson pours out her heart to staff at a secret bar called the Doghouse.
King Charles has reportedly offered substantial financial incentives for Andrew to relocate, understanding that money might be the only language his brother understands. But these negotiations have stalled, creating a standoff that's paralyzing the entire York family dynamic. The public has grown weary of the endless drama. They see Andrew's defiance as a slap in the face to taxpayers who ultimately fund the royal lifestyle. By extension, Sarah Ferguson's continued association with him is viewed as complicity in this defiance, further justifying her daughter's decision to step away. What's particularly tragic is that this separation might have been avoidable. Had Sarah Ferguson been able to establish true independence from Andrew, had she carved out her own path separate from his scandals, perhaps her daughters wouldn't be forced into this agonizing choice. But the past has a way of defining the present, and her inability to break free has sealed her fate. The ripple effects extend beyond just the York family. This crisis is forcing the entire monarchy to confront uncomfortable truths about loyalty, duty, and the price of belonging to the world's most famous family. It's a reminder that even royal blood doesn't guarantee unconditional support when the institution itself is at stake. As this drama unfolds, the question becomes, what's next for Sarah Ferguson? With her daughters pulling away and her position at Royal Lodge increasingly untenable, she faces a future that looks vastly different from anything she might have imagined. The woman who once captured the world's attention as a breath of fresh air in the stuffy royal family now finds herself gasping for relevance. The lesson here is brutal but clear. In the modern monarchy, adaptation isn't optional, it's essential. Those who can't or won't change with the times will find themselves left behind, regardless of their past status or family connections. Sarah Ferguson's current collapse serves as a warning to anyone who believes royal privilege is permanent. For Beatrice and Eugenie, this decision to distance themselves from their mother represents a painful coming of age. They're acknowledging that sometimes love means letting go, that protecting their own families might require sacrificing the family they were born into. It's a mature, if heartbreaking, recognition of reality. The monarchy will survive this crisis, as it has survived countless others. But for Sarah Ferguson, the cost may be everything she holds dear. As her daughters forge their own paths, she's left to contemplate a future that looks increasingly isolated and uncertain. This isn't just a story about royal drama, it's a human story about the prices we pay for our choices, about how the past can haunt the present, and about the sometimes impossible decisions families face when survival is at stake. The York family saga serves as a reminder that behind the tiaras and titles are real people making real sacrifices, sometimes at devastating personal cost. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.